For KDSJ Local Sports, Clayson Davis reporting. It's time to get a glimpse inside a Belle Fourche Boys Soccer for the 2025 season. I am now joined by head coach Lucas Trimble from the Belle Fourche Boys Soccer team. Coach Trimble, thank you for the time.
Absolutely, you bet.
Last year, Coach, you guys made the semifinals where you lost to eventual state champion Vermilion, but went 8-7 last year. How do you build on last year's success for this 2025 season?
Well, last year was the most successful season we've had under being sanctioned with the school district. So it was awesome. We graduated 5 seniors, 3 of which I've had since they were 7th graders. So those ones. The seniors were big losses, but we got some kids who are starting to fill shoes this year. I've kind of been telling the boys we're kind of at a teetering point where we can be, we have the ability to be better than we were last year, but it's going to be difficult, or we could teeter the other way. And, so we're at a teetering point of, trying to use that momentum from last year and push even further than we did.
And you had a lot of young players last year on your roster, Coach, and some of those are going to have to fill some big shoes this year. Who are some of the underclassmen that you are expecting to see take that next step and become the next great player at Belle Fourche?
Well, this year I actually have enough I shouldn't say upperclassmen, enough high schoolers to field, a starting 11 of, juniors, seniors, and sophomores, which since the time I've been coaching, I've always been, having to play a lot of 8th graders, even some 7th graders, freshmen, etc. But for some of the younger ones, we're looking towards Jackson Tucker. He's a freshman this year. We're looking at Turner Williams. He's a sophomore this year. He's looking good this year. We also have William Cudmore. He's going to be a freshman as well. And then we've got a handful of 8th and 7th graders who, of course, we're training to be filling shoes in the years down the road. So,
and in terms of replacing those 5 seniors on last year's team, Coach, who are some of the upperclassmen, that you'll have fill some big roles and be into some leadership positions for this year's team?
Yeah, out of the 5 seniors, we had 3 of them who were the regular starters and the 3 captains of the team. So as far as filling those shoes, we've got Keegan Walker. He's one of our juniors. He's potentially going to be filling into the midfield. Turner Williams, who's a sophomore, he's going to be moving into that midfield role as well, it looks like. And then, of course, we've got 3 other seniors. Actually, we have 4 seniors total, but we'll be looking at, the guys who have been with me. We got Josh Brill, Griffin Beal, and Billy Bryan. They're all stepping in the leadership role. They've been with me ever since they were in 7th and 8th grade. They know what to expect. They know their role, and they've been doing a great job of it.
What do you say are your expectations for this year after a successful 2024 campaign?
I think meeting the same, if we're looking at tangible things, if we're making we'll be shooting for semifinals again as kind of our, that's kind of our baseline now is that semifinals. Of course, obviously we'd like to go further. But then, we kind of set, daily goals in practice as far as what makes us successful. And, we come out of games with losses, where, we had little wins that we'd been looking for. And while we may have lost the game, we still have wins to take away from it. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're looking at as far as tangible things for this season.
Coach, again, talking about that semifinals baseline that you like to judge your team on, what needs to change in this year's team in order to help push you past that semifinal slump?
Typically, it comes down to winning the games that we need to. In the past 2 years, we had dropped a couple of decisions that we shouldn't have, or that, we expected to win, which bumped us lower in our rankings. So the higher up that we can place, of course, the easier the path is to the final. And then as far as, tactical things, we've been looking at just all aspects, trying to build off of last year. We did a lot of growing last year, a lot of improvement, and then just, looking to improve each and every day. So,
as you look at your first few practices, Coach, what do you say are the strengths of this year's team?
So we started practice last Monday, and then into this week. I would say our team chemistry and communication has been pretty awesome. Like I said, I've had a lot of these guys for a number of years. They know that's expected. The communication is really well. And then, our back line is looking like it's all going to be the same four boys and our goalkeeper. So that's always going to be a strength. When you can field, as long as everyone stays healthy, you can field the same back line. And then we've got 4 or 5 guys up top who have a wicked good shot, who, we're going to be expecting who will be putting the ball in the back of the net quite a bit. So we've got some strengths there as well.
Coach, finally, you have your first game on Tuesday, the 19th, versus Custer. What do you expect to see from your team when they take the field for that first game this season?
Well, I'm hoping since we've had a full 2 weeks plus, then the Monday before practice, I'm hoping we don't have to, typically we kind of start on the first Friday, the first allowable practice, and it's like, well, it's a good starter game. We got things to work on, but I'm hoping we can kind of just, we're ahead of the game a little bit to where the things that we need to work on, all the kinks are kind of worked out, and we can start on a high note and then continue to build up from there after that first game. So,
well, Coach Trimble, thank you for the time, and excited to watch Belle Fourche Boys Soccer for the 2025 season.
Yeah, thanks for having me.